When I cheated on my husband, it was a horrific experience. He's aware of what's going on, and I'm worried I'm going to lose him. So, since I'm not sure where to begin, I'll just go ahead and do it. I committed a major oversight. My husband found out that I was in another sub and had written about having an open relationship, since I was in another sub. A large argument ensued, during which he stated certain things that I did not agree with, prompting me to leave the house and take a walk around the neighborhood. My coworker, the man with whom I wished to have an open relationship, called and invited me to his home for dinner. It was determined that I would go forward with it because the talk had gone nowhere, so I asked him to pick me up and we returned to his place. The two of us drank a few drinks and then walked into the bedroom, where he turned on the television and we watched some absurd movie for a few minutes before I made a move and slid down onto his behind. Unsatisfactory results, to put it mildly, were the end result. His appearance seemed to come out of nowhere and last around 20 seconds. His attention was suddenly drawn away from me and he returned to his television. This went on for over an hour, and just as I was getting ready to go, he proceeded to straddle me. I simply responded, "Forget it," and went through with the situation. The intercourse was, to put it mildly, awful, to say the least. His tongue was sore from eating Pringles, so he refused to come down on me, so we went straight to, and it was just 10 minutes of sloppy thrusting before we were done. He forgot to take a step back as well. He then rolled back over and returned to his seat in front of the television. I hurriedly dressed and got in my car to drive home. On the way back, I thought and realized that all I really needed was a little excitement to break up the monotony, and that what I got wasn't quite what I had hoped it would be. In terms of real, my spouse is far superior to everyone else I've been with in the past because of his extensive knowledge, and I wish I'd recognized this sooner. I was also really rude to him. I emphasized his size in my last article, but he's just around 7 inches tall, so he's not so little. I was simply allowing a fantasy of being with someone else to take over my judgment and actions. When I returned home, my husband was still in the kitchen. I attempted to engage him in conversation, but he simply put on headphones and began preparing pasta. At some point, he took them out and placed the spaghetti in a large mixing bowl. I asked if I might have any, but he refused since he doesn't like to share and promptly devoured the entire batch. I just went to bed since I was exhausted and sad. The next morning, I was awakened by his voice about an hour later, and I figured he was trying to have with me or something. Instead, he simply took my blanket and towel and walked into the living room, where he made himself comfortable for the night. I went back to sleep once I found a rug to sleep on. I attempted to converse with him while he was sitting on the couch, but he was deafeningly silent. I got up early because it was cold outdoors and the heater in my room had been turned off. Because of this, I had more time to ponder, and I realized just how badly I had screwed up, and that I needed to concentrate on becoming a more loving wife. Throughout the day, I attempted to communicate with my spouse. He's just not responding at all. As soon as I attempted to make a pass on him, he rejected me and walked out of the room, which was something he'd never done before. If he was too drowsy for, he'd at the very least go down on me, but tonight he looked completely uninterested in anything at all, even me. I've also noted that he hasn't had anything to eat or drink today, and he just seems to be weary, which is another concern. I attempted to converse with him and seat him down, but he simply got up and left the house without saying anything. I attempted to reach him, but his phone went to voicemail. I texted him to tell him that I loved him and that we needed to talk as soon as possible for the sake of our marriage. He did not respond. This is what he emailed me in response. "I am no longer interested in having a dialogue with you or getting married to you. I'm going to be staying somewhere else till the end of the year. I expect you to be gone by the time I go back to my room. This used to be my home, and I don't want you to come back here again. I've contacted an attorney and will immediately communicate with her on our behalf. I am no longer in possession of this phone number. I made a few phone calls and learned that my husband was staying at my sister's house. I'm concerned because she's attractive and unmarried, and I'm aware that she's had a little romantic interest in him for some time. I'm concerned that she'll take advantage of this to make a pass on him. I contacted her and inquired as to what was going on, and she responded by telling me that she loves me but that she would no longer support me as a result of what I did, and that we should not communicate for a while. Though I see my error, she's my sister, and she's supposed to be there for me right now, rather than playing housewife to my husband, which is what she's doing today. It was reported to me by my sister's next-door neighbor that my husband and sister had been shopping together earlier and that she had been acting like his lover. What should I do about it? I'm not sure what to do since I feel duped. I adore my sister, but I loathe her right now for what she has done. All I hope is that she doesn't get her way with my husband. A lot of things have happened in a short period of time, and I'm not sure what to feel or do at the moment. All I want is for things to revert to their previous state. Please accept my apologies for the lengthy article, but I simply wanted to vent. I'm well aware that I made a mistake, but I had no idea things would turn out this badly. The second story is as follows. The man who used to be my fiancé and ex-love of my life has done it again, you guys. The ability to post photographs to this site would allow me to share screenshots of 10 pages of content that they shared via a Google Doc with the rest of the world. Shared across all of their professional profiles, just a lot of sweet and charming stuff. There's nothing explicit in this collection. The exact sentiments that we would have shared when we first started dating 9 years ago are still there. What can I say? You are fantastic, and your hair is the bee's knees. It's all right because you are amazing, and your hair would be the bee's knees if you didn't know. It sounds about right to me, but I'm not going to boast about it. It's a good idea, considering what a gentleman you are. And may I also remark what a smooth, buttery 1950s voice you have. Ooh la la, with a matching toupee, how wonderful. Why should I say the same thing about you and your femme fatale aura? I believe you belong in a noir film. Not to mention that I do not have a toupee on at all. I'm truly sorry. It's a wig, says the author. In addition, thank you for correcting my awkward spelling of the word toupee. I'm on the verge of puking. So why aren't more individuals advocating for reconciliation? After all, as the adage goes, once a cheater, always a cheater. What matters is how much a person commits to change. Becoming sober, beginning counseling, proposing, selling a house jointly. They are all the same on the surface. Everything is the same as before. So, a little more than a month ago, he arrived home inebriated and got physically violent with me, causing me to call the authorities for assistance. He went out drinking with her that night and left a bag containing some of her most personal belongings in my car. He then forgot he had done it, since he was so intoxicated that he had forgotten. She received a text from me saying, "Call if you discover," because I had her phone number in my phone's pocket. He said that nothing had occurred, and I wanted to believe him because she is her employee, and there may be other reasons why he had her bag aside from the idea that they were in a relationship. However, I've been taken advantage of the entire time. He pledged to find another employment after that, but he hasn't, and he returns to the house every day to make additions to the novel they're working on together. In any event, the screenshots were delivered to my inbox. Because his name is on the lease for our new apartment, I must go via the sheriff's office in order to get him evicted. This is the stuff of nightmares come real.